Okay. Let's see. Can we guys get some feedback on this mic real quick? Make sure the mic is working. Anybody? Yes. No, that's not. He's talking to someone else. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for being here. Hopefully we'll get some more people in. I know the last stream had quite a few viewers, so that's always awesome. Let me make sure. Perfect. Okay. So, yeah, just going to start out with the usual shout-outs and announcement, and then we'll just get right into it. So, just quick shout-outs to BadAce/Base for joining the NFA channel. It's been a long time since he's even been, like, in the background of the community, so it's always cool to have someone like him return, and whether he's going to play or not, it's just cool that he'll be, in the background of the scenes, and people can always talk to him, and hopefully we can get him on the podcast sometime as well. A shout out to ps2online.tk and the people that are involved in creating and maintaining those servers so we can play together. It's pretty cool that we have a full lobby right now after all these years on this game. And then just a quick shout out to snake.sn and the SN clan, just because I know they're going to be watching this eventually. And yeah, why not? So today's guest is going to be FreddY. And the next stream will be next Saturday at 6 p.m. CT with Protocol/PTC as the guest. And got all sorts of stuff that I want to talk to him about. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, like I said, today's guest is FreddY, who I've known online since the early 2000s. And we made a video series together called TH4 We made 1 to 4, which I edited. And I did a terrible job editing, and he probably should have edited it. But, oh well. I still think it turned out good. A lot of people liked it. He's also known as one of the best King of the Hill players on Tony Hawk 4. He's mastered a lot of the hardest moves, created some, and that's where I'll stop it. So yeah, thanks for doing this, man.
Hey man, how's it going? Nice to finally talk to you.
It's we've talked like maybe once or twice out of all these years. I've only talked to this guy once or twice. I thought you hated me for a while. I was like, this guy doesn't want to talk to me.
Nah, man. I mean, I probably talked to you more than I have Crad, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, you don't. Is there a reason you don't talk on the mic very often? I mean, is that just a personal thing, or?
Not really. I mean, I didn't really get involved in the whole mic thing until THPSX started up.
Okay.
So I mean, I know you guys used to have little Skype parties, and I wasn't all into that at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of that, it was on Skype, correct. And I know you don't like Skype. Skype was always this huge resource hog back in the day, too. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, cool. Start off with the usual questions. I just want everyone to know this podcast is going to be a little more unconventional. For one, I've known Fred for so long that, like, there's stuff that we'll probably end up throwing in that people are going to be like, okay. But a lot of it is going to be focused on King of the Hill, the history of that entire, basically that entire game. King of the Hill had like a really niche community that was big and got a little bit smaller, but as it got smaller, like the players became crazier and crazier over time. All sorts of stuff was invented, and hopefully we'll be able to pick his brain. We're gonna have like a timeline. I think we said of like 2003 to 5 was that TH4 We'll cover some of that, but then we'll cover what was the I have it written down, the timeline that a lot of like basically we're gonna start from the very beginning of what FreddY knows at King of the Hill after we ask him these general questions, and then let's go from that. So the general questions: when did you start playing THPS? What game? And then when did you start playing online? And was it with dial-up or broadband?
So my first experience with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series was on Nintendo 64 with the first game. I probably picked it up about a year after it actually launched a year after it first came out on PlayStation. So I probably picked it up around the time it released on N64. And I had gotten it as a birthday present in the year 2000. And I spent a lot of time playing that with a bunch of neighborhood buddies. Just doing trick attack and graph on warehouse level all the time. But, going forward, I actually skipped Tony Hawk 3 when it first came out on PS2.
Okay.
I did get into the PlayStation 1 version a little bit because one of my next door neighbors owned the PS1 version, and I didn't actually delve into the PS2 version of Tony Hawk 3 until afterwards that I had started playing 4 and Thug and all that. So if we fast forward to 2003, I had received a little bit of birthday money that year and decided to invest it in a brand new copy of Tony Hawk 4 and a network adapter, which was about $50 for the game and $40 for the network adapter at the time.
Big chunk of change when we were younger. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. And you know, the whole online gaming thing was brand new to me, so it was all a really new experience to hook that up. And you talked about if that was on broadband or dial-up. It was all on dial-up. I had actually been a dial-up user until the end of 05 because they just didn't offer it here in my town.
Oh, wow. Okay. But in 05, then you switched to broadband.
Yeah, actually, Verizon started offering DSL in our area.
Oh, cool.
So it was DSL broadband, and I'll never forget the first time I played King of the Hill on broadband, how easy it was to hit somebody.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Weren't you a dial-up user at one time?
I was a dial-up user for. I think you got broadband, and I was like super jelly. I was like, no, this guy can't have it. And then not too long after you got it, we actually were able to get DSL. But
yeah.
I don't know if it was a cost thing or something. I don't know what it was, but eventually we did get DSL. So, but it was after you got it, but not too long after. So now I can realize, oh yeah, now I have a rough idea when I first started doing that. Yeah.
Actually, I probably had dial-up when we shot the first Tony Hawk 4 EVA.
Yes. Yeah. I think we both did. Yeah. we both did for sure. And then I think by like TH4 EVA 4, we both had broadband. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. All right. What clans were you in before MOK? Or can I just call it Mock? Is that what it's?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I've always called it in my head. But I was in an assortment of noob clans, I would say, when I first started on Tony Hawk 4 in the summer of 03. I had been invited to this total noob clan called ICP, short for Insane Clown Posse.
I remember it. Yeah, briefly. Yeah.
And after that, joined this other noob clan. It's actually kind of prominent because there was a lot of members. It was called RE2, short for Resident Evil 2.
I remember that as well. They were like a Trick Attack clan, like hybrid Trick Attack and Graph, weren't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, I remember those. You're not in contact with any of those people anymore, huh?
Oh no, not at all.
Dude, that's too bad. Okay.
A lot of them had played that Resident Evil Outbreak game that came out for PS2.
Right. Yeah.
And I just lost touch with them. This is probably in the winter of 03. So my journey with Mock actually started February 04.
February 04.
Yeah, I was just getting into King of the Hill. It was still kind of new to me to see a room that was only playing King of the Hill. And, just straight up asked, hey, let me try out. And a player by the name of Lang Wu, who was like the leader of Mock at the time, he's like, all right, you just got to get a minute and 15 seconds against both me and another player named Helix, who's kind of a legend in this game.
Yes, I remember Felix for sure.
And
so did you practice, or did you just go in there and you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it, and then you did it, or like how does that work? You had to practice for a while playing King of the Hill, right?
Yeah, I don't really remember practicing too much. I just kind of did my best at the time. I wasn't really too practiced. It was all very new to me because I went from whoring Trick Attack for all those months at the beginning to getting into Graph and then King of the Hill. So at the time that I tried out, I wasn't a pro by any means, but somehow I managed to score that time, like a minute and 30 seconds or so on both of them. and they let me in the clan.
That's awesome. Okay. Not to sidetrack too much, but was that clan already pretty notorious for being really, really good at King of the Hill, or at that time were they kind of like a noob clan still for like King of the Hill? Was there a clan that was better than Mock at that time?
Well, you see, it had already been established by that time. The King of the Hill community was kind of getting on its feet in the beginning of '04. You know, not to discount all the people that played King of the Hill on Tony Hawk 3, but the community was just starting to get to. This was pre KXTH. Are you familiar with KXTH?
Very, very little.
It's KXTH was like the community hub for the King of the Hill players.
Yeah, because I remember there was a forum for it too. It was a website and a forum.
Yeah, it's actually like still online, preserved or whatever at kxth.com.
They had like brackets and stuff too. They did all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Well, anyway, that actually didn't launch until around June of '04. So we swing back to the beginning of '04. You know, Mock had probably been in existence for like less than a year, I would say, because I don't think it existed on Tony Hawk 3. But it was definitely one of, if not the most prominent King of the Hill clan at the time. I don't want to step on SN's toes, but I know SN was the second most prominent on Tony Hawk 4.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, we'll come back more to that whole thing. Just a couple more general questions for you. So was there ever any time when improv / points was like your main focus, where like you were hardcore on it for like, I mean, it seems like an obvious no, but for like a year straight, that's what your focus was on? And let's say, like, did you ever break like 100 mil just messing around?
Not that high on improv. When I did, go for points, I never actually built a level. My highest score was about 800 million on San Fran.
Oh, but you did get, okay, so that's still pretty respectable though.
Yeah.
So you did.
I would say.
Yeah, you did go for points for quite a while then.
But improv, that's pretty much all that I'm doing these days on Thug Pro.
Yeah.
And King of the Hill scene is not that great at the moment, but it can always come back.
Yeah, it seems to have like its moments where it just kind of like creeps up.
Oh yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah. Cool. A couple more. So, do you have a favorite King of the Hill player, and what makes this person your favorite? Or if you can't select one, can you name a few?
Yeah, I can name a few.
Okay.
There's a lot of great players over the years. Obviously, shout outs to Helix, Skate Ace, Impulse, Crad, who's one of the fastest guys in Tony Hawk 4. There's a lot of guys that were not that well known by the greater community. Guys like Wheat, Magic, even some of the European crowd. You're Amazing, John P. But one of the all-time greats, who I'd probably say would be my favorite, would be, of course, is Devolution.
Yeah, and are you still in contact with him? Because I was thinking maybe sometime getting him on the podcast. So,
I haven't spoken to him, but apparently he's in our Discord, so
okay,
it's possible to reach him.
Cool. Yeah, I remember him being really good. There was some like those wall rides that are like infamous for being huge pain in the ass to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember messing around. Later on we'll go to Chicago, and I've shown some people this one on Thug Pro, and they're like, "Why would you even try this?" Because you can there's so many different ways of doing it now. But in this game, if you could do it, you were like the shit. So yeah, and he always made it look easy. So, all right,
absolutely.
Favorite video and why? Or if you can't select just one favorite video, I guess we could do videos.
For like Tony Hawk 4 or just like the grander scale?
That's a good question. Let's do Tony Hawk 4 and then just a grander scale.
All right. So a couple stick out in my mind on 4, one of which would be the video that you did, TH4 Reborn.
Oh yeah, okay.
Just because so many great bonks and just moves that you wouldn't think would be possible at the time. I the one that sticks out of my mind, and I hope this is in TH4 Reborn, but it's the boneless bonk off of the street sign to the wire in San Fran.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what struck my mind at the time to even try that, but apparently it's possible. So yes.
And one of my other all-time favorites on 4, it's I don't think it's on YouTube, but we have it in our Tony Hawk THPSX video directory. It's Devolution King of the Hill moves Volume 2. It's just so many great moves, and the precision it takes to hit them is ridiculous.
Ooh.
And hit them consistently.
Can you put that on YouTube, or is that something? Can we get that out there so people can see it? I think people should see
for sure.
it. Yeah, we'll make a note of that.
I'll drop the link in the chat.
So it is on YouTube right now, or it's in the website that you have. That's KXTH or something.
I didn't see it on the YouTube, but we have it in our website.
Yeah, for sure. Throw that in there. And if you don't want to do it now, we can do it at the end. I could put in the description on like YouTube or something. Let's see. That is pretty much where we were going to stop it because we know that there's a crap ton of history for King of the Hill. So if we just start at the very, very beginning from the time that you started and the evolution, progression, what's all changed throughout the years, like when, if you can remember like times that players left. I mean, I know you kind of prepped for this way more than I did because I just don't know enough to even ask you. So I'm hoping that you have some sort of like formula that you can start just from day one and just kind of, have everyone come along for the ride.
So, like the gameplay progression of King of the Hill is what we're getting at?
Yeah. Well, and then like if we can do, the clans, videos that had come out that, I know videos weren't too popular with King of the Hill, but if there's any like videos that King of the Hill players would just be jaw dropped over, obviously the dev one would be one. But yeah, just like a general eagle eye of just like a big overview of just the entire scene from your starting to pretty much the end when the servers ended in like around 07. I think they started shutting down.
Yeah, the beginning of 06.
06, okay.
So,
I know it's such a broad thing, and it's going to be just your perspective of it. But just everything you can say. I mean, if this podcast goes for a couple hours, it kind of is what it is because there's other stuff too that we're going to try talking about. I think other than just King of the Hill, but the main focus was this King of the Hill scene that so many people I think missed out big time because I was kind of a part of it. I played a lot of King of the Hill with you guys, and I was like, dude, it was so much fun. It was so intense. Like at the end of these sessions, I would be sweating, man. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty common, the sweaty palms.
Oh yeah, it was nuts, and the people were insane. Like they were consistently, like the 1v1s, you were almost consistently like within 20 seconds all the time. Of winning. I mean, it was just insane. Sometimes it was like seconds. At the end, it was like a second. It was just crazy.
So, I hadn't played Tony Hawk 3 online, like I said earlier, but I had always heard that there was a small community that played King of the Hill on Tony Hawk 3. Some of the innovators on that game would probably have been Andy THPS, guys like Mike TLT, just kind of laying the foundation for what would become the King of the Hill ground game on 4. I'm sure when you play King of the Hill on 4, a lot of the time you see these players reverting all over the ground, and that's a basic King of the Hill tactic that I had heard originated on Tony Hawk 3. I couldn't tell you who did it first, but that is just one of the bread and butter moves of a King of the Hill player is reverting all over the place on flat ground to kind of give misdirection from your opponents.
Oh, okay.
So let's see. Thinking about the beginning of 04 when I joined Mock, uh, the King of the Hill community was hotter than ever. There was rooms every night. We regularly pull all-nighters on Fridays, Saturdays, uh, afternoon sessions on Sundays. You'd have these same hosts that would host these great rooms that wouldn't lag that much, like Helix, Impulse, would host these rooms because they had the best connections where you get a full room of 8 people and it starts getting laggy, especially after a few hours of the same game. So thinking about the summertime of 04, this is when Impulse, one of the most prominent King of the Hill players, had come up with this idea to start a league for the King of the Hill players called KXTH. And he really, put, if you go back and look at the rules, the scoreboards, and all that, there was a ton of thought that went into this. It wasn't your typical tournament 1v1.
Hmm.
It was laid out in seasons to where the same players would play in these gameplay sessions over the course of weeks, and at the end, whoever had the highest accumulated time would be declared the winner of the season. So KXTH, when he launched it in June 04, I believe he advertised it once on TXO, and it actually got like dozens and dozens of signups from that side of the community, which was it was a pretty uncommon thing to see the King of the Hillers mingling with the TXO type community, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So that first season of KXTH really brought a lot of players together that you wouldn't otherwise see hanging out normally. And as the years went on, we went into season 2, season 3, and this KXTH website really became the backbone of the King of the Hill community. Season 2 was where I actually first joined. I didn't play in season 1, but we'd actually delved into Thug and Thug 2, and at the end there, we had a little season opener on Thaw. I don't think it ever got finished, but Thaw King of the Hill, it's actually not all that bad. Have you ever played Thaw?
Uh, yes, I played Thaw when it came out. It's that and Thug 2 I played on release days, but I
Yeah.
never played much Thaw or anything. Yeah, it's surprising to hear that Thaw would have been okay, but
So one of the things that kept the community, the King of the Hill community, healthy on Tony Hawk 4 was the fact that the net code was better on 4 in terms of like the host advantage, which was kind of out of control on Thug 1.
yeah, and Thug 2 it would seem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of players stayed in favor of Tony Hawk 4 in those years. And I mean, King of the Hill community did develop on those games, and I wasn't too involved in Thug and Thug 2 Online in those years. But I can tell you that a lot of good players that started out on, like, say, Thug 2 migrated to 4 and were just as good on 4. One of them being another member of my clan named Sleepy,
Yeah.
and there's a player named Crazy who later became known as Asterisk. Uh, he's actually KC's brother, I believe, and he was able to migrate from Thug to 4 and pick it up like that. Um, So if we're talking about innovation in the game, in those years, if you weren't playing King of the Hill, you were like, for me, I was doing free skate with my buddies, looking for new moves, always looking for new moves that we could use to fake out the opponents, wallies, wire transfers, what have you. And thinking about the foundation of those moves, have you ever heard the term of a quick turn wally?
Yes, and there's a couple of them that I know you could probably still do, and I'm actually observing. And I'm just throwing the camera on you. If you want to show a couple while you're talking about them, or if
Yeah,
that's
sure.
too much to do, I know playing and talking simultaneously isn't always the easiest thing, especially when you're trying moves. But
So that player I was talking about earlier, Devolution, he had a lot of quick turn wally type moves, and I specifically remember asking one time where he learned that technique, and believe it or not, he said that he first picked it up from Draco.
oh, cool, improv player.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and but I did a lot of studying of what footage was actually on the internet at the time of King of the Hill. Uh, One of the first videos that I downloaded was Skate Ace King of the Hill Moves Volume 2. And that's another good one that I learned a lot from. Uh, and even earlier than that, there was a series of King of the Hill games spread out across many levels between Devolution and Mike.tlt, who was known as Waz at the time.
yeah,
So they did a series across several different levels that I picked up a lot from, just studying the movement, the nuances. Um, but overall, I'd say the King of the Hill community, it kind of transcends, what people would say is competitive on Tony Hawk. People talk about. Well, I mean, I guess you can count the whoring aspect into this too, but when you have something like improv, which is, I don't know, some would say opinion based on what is good. There's several. Well, let me say this: there's several different opinions on what is good or bad in improv. On on King of the Hill, if you're good, you're good. You have a finite skill set. You either win or lose, and I think that's what draws a lot of people to the game of King of the Hill. If you can catch my drift.
yeah, definitely. And before we go too much further, so you joined on like the season 2 of this KXTH thing, or Division
Yes.
2 rather. So was there any other sort of thing set up for KOTH at that time? Did the
Uh,
TXO website run anything? I mean, or was there literally nothing for King of the Hill at that time in terms of like a big community reach?
Not on this scale, because KXTH was running a season that was taking up weeks or sometimes months at a time. And the one thing that does stick out to me is the Sin Clan, Skaters in Neutral, who ran OnlineSkaters.net. They had a couple of King of the Hill tournaments, which a few of our members in the King of the Hill community competed in. I believe, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but one of our KXCH members named Decap actually won the first one. But the Sin King of the Hill tournaments was one of the more prominent events, I would say. in that time, I don't know. Uh, Obviously, we have the ones that are being held on Thug Pro now, but there really haven't been too many over the years.
I didn't even know there was any at all. So yeah, so that goes to show you they're not too popular. I mean, I guess I've only been playing for the last couple of years now, but cool. So going a little bit further, now you're starting to reach more like 2004 and 5 when we started. Like when did we make rather the first TH for Eva? Do you remember when that was? Not to get too sidetracked, but
TH4 Eva was.
Or am I completely off the time scale?
No, I think it was. We actually did it in like 3 weeks or so. We filmed it all in 3 weeks, I think, and that would be the middle of September 2005 because the release date was October 4th, 2005.
Okay, and where does that fall in terms of where you were at with this clan? Because were you in Division 2 at that time then? When we were making the first one, or is this like way off the time scale? Am I ahead of myself or behind?
I think I'm not sure if I'm remembering the timeline correctly, but I think season 2 had wrapped up by that time, or just wrapped up.
Okay.
Because I remember spending a lot of time doing those sessions throughout the summer of 2005. So towards the fall time I think it was wrapped up and we were waiting season 3.
Yeah, and it was maybe just in between those seasons. So this will be a kind of a good sidetrack, and then we'll get back into King of the Hill and like where it went after that. But what do you remember? Like I'm trying to think. It's just really pathetic. So I can't even remember hardly anything when we made these first. Well, when we made the whole series, did we release them all just back to back? Did we just like finish one and then immediately start the other one, or do you have any idea like how long it took to make these?
So the first one came out and there was a pretty good reception about it. So I think we just started filming the second one immediately because, let's see, Tony Hawk 4 Eva 2 would have come out in the beginning of, or either the beginning of 06 or the very, very end of 05 because it was quick. And the reason I remember that specifically is because we pumped out 3 and 4 within a month's time in April of 06. So it was all like within like a 6-month time span that all 4 came out.
Dang. Okay. I didn't think it was that quick. Yeah, that's crazy. And if you look at it, the transfers on basically on our parts, especially because I mean we were in all of them except I was barely in the third one. But the transfers, like they went from these crazy technical transfers. I mean, you still had a lot of tech transfers in all of them because you were still kind of like I think you were still even trying to find new King of the Hill moves and stuff. So you had all sorts of crazy low to the ground but hard timed tech transfers. And then I'm sitting here like flying all over because Tony Hawk 4 Boost Plant was like a thing now. So it's kind of cool.
What was the second one? The one where you edited the intro to be like the THX deep note, that deep bass sound.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember, was that the first video where you hit the 2x Wally plant or the 3x?
I started doing 3x around that time period, yeah. But I don't know if I was the one that started doing that in transfers or not. I mean, till that time I hadn't seen it, but it was actually at the end of the first one that, you know, Boost Plant was basically like becoming a thing to use in transfers, I guess, because I got on that stupid roof in London. Yeah.
That was insane, man. It's still insane.
I was like, how the hell did that just happen? Yeah.
I remember that because, you know, over the course of time between the first video and like the third, I had learned how to do the 3x's myself, and I had a lot of 3x transfers in the third video.
Yeah. You had some crazy ones. While we're still doing the whole THPS thing, that wasn't around the time that like manual boost plant was discovered, was it? Because I think
manual,
you know exactly like
yeah,
who did that, and who found it, and like who learned it. Because I haven't even learned how to do it.
yeah.
Or is that like way
Like
farther ahead? I don't know.
no, manual boost plant was after TH4 Evo 4,
Yeah.
and probably I would probably say the fall of 06. I mean, because I had actually figured out how to do it consistently, and me and Brassbox and Green decided to make the tutorial video, and just doing all these crazy transfers that you wouldn't think would be possible from a manual.
Yeah, yeah. Can you do
But
them still? Is it hard? It's probably gonna be hard to do on this. Are you playing on emulator?
no, I'm on PS2. I can
Oh,
try one.
yeah. They're hard as balls. I can't fucking do them. I don't know how you guys do them.
There's
Yeah,
one right there.
that's ridiculous. So, but you have to do a 3x just to do
Yeah,
2x off the ground. So
it has
can
to
you
be a
bonk with that?
3x.
Can you bonk with that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because all it
Holy
is a
shit.
Wally plant off the ground.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So the bonks I
And
could do would be nuts. Maybe I gotta start using these. Do it from a sketch.
I remember another player named Guy 2K. He had this series of videos called Airborne Addiction, I think it was, and he was just hitting 4x's like nothing, and he had a few 3x manual boost plants in his videos,
That's
which were
ridiculous.
kind of insane.
Yeah, that's insane for sure. Yeah,
But
that it's really hard. Like you make it look super easy, but I can't do it. I don't know what the hell it is. I think it's the timing because you have to
yeah,
actually
I mean,
time stuff, and like I like smashing buttons, but I can't time them. So
the 3x's are a lot harder than they look on the console games.
yeah,
Um,
they're very hard. 3x boost plants is really difficult. And then so to do a 3x manual boost plant, you have to do a 4x on the wall then, right?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is
Yeah,
you have to hit a 4x to hit a 3x.
yeah. How the hell do you do that? I don't think I've ever done a 4x legitimately. I can do it with like a turbo. I don't think I can ever do it. Yeah, see if you can do this transfer. I don't know. I got super lucky with it. I've done it a few times since then, but I don't know.
Dude,
That
one of my
seam up
favorite.
there is hard.
I don't know if you got to grind first into it or.
No, you don't. You gotta hug the wall, and that first wall plan has to be like, yeah. I think you're getting the idea. It has to be because that seam is on the next arch right there, basically. I don't know.
So
It's like a 1x, 2x, 1x. Yeah, it's really not that high.
right there.
Yeah, it's hard.
One of my favorite
Oh, there you go.
transfers in this level is over on the OB out of bounds area, right over here when you were like bouncing back and forth in the credits of one of the THO TVs.
Yeah, it's right at the end of maybe the first one. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fun, just flying back and forth.
Too bad that this ceiling area is not in Thug Pro at all. Well, not skatable, I don't think.
Uh, Above here,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, it is.
It really?
Actually. Yeah.
You've been up there? Huh.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got a transfer in there that I think will be pretty cool when it's finally out. Not to spoil much, but yeah, it's pretty darn cool. Okay, so back to the division. How many divisions were in KXTH?
You had your. I think in total they only ran 3 seasons, and the last one was on Thaw. But
Oh wow.
there were subdivisions like a pro division and an AM division, like for amateur players.
Right.
Like a pro am division. But KXCH also had a lot of side events, like on April Fool's one year. We ran this King of the Hill event called April Fool-Langen, and it was a 2v2 tournament where the objective was for you and your teammate to get as close to 2 minutes as possible, and whatever team has the highest amount of minutes like wins, I guess. Like, you want your teammate to get 159 and you get 2, basically.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty cool idea actually. That is a really cool idea.
And they had on Cinco de Mayo 07, I believe, they ran in a capture the flag tournament called Cinco de Flago, and myself and Crad won that.
Oh, cool.
It was just your basic capture the flag tournament.
Is there video of that?
No, unfortunately,
Oh,
there ain't
okay.
no footage.
It would have been interesting to see some coordination involved in doing that. Yeah. So what else we got? So we're like towards the whole THPS of getting busted out. You had some time to do those, but then you obviously started another bracket on KXTH, right?
Yeah, well, that would have been like right when Thaw first came out, which was, I think, would be like November 05 or so. So everybody was very new to Thaw. They thought it was going to be a lot different because we had heard rumors that like King of the Hill was going to be scrapped in favor of this new game mode called Pot of Gold, but it actually wasn't.
Pot of Gold. What was that?
Pot of Gold.
Yeah, what the hell is that?
It's,
by the way, these guys are begging you to start a game. Maybe you could do like a graffiti or something, or do a King of the Hill. Do a King of the Hill. I'll watch. No pressure.
Pot of Gold is actually a legit mode in Thaw where you just hold a heavy pot of gold over your head while you score points, and the objective is to score points. So it's basically King of the Hill TA.
Oh, no shit. I don't think I ever actually played it, which comes to show you how much I actually played Thaw. I did not play that much. Yeah. This is gonna be hard for you to talk and play this. So if you lose, that's why, right? So what else? So okay, at that time, who were like some of the predominant players? Was Quick Turn always used before Dev started doing them? Like when Dev started doing them, did everyone just inherit those Quick Turns? Or did it take a while for other people to catch on?
No, it didn't take a while at all. I mean, especially because it's such an easy technique to implement into your game.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing quick turns. Everybody was doing these intricate wire transfers all over the levels. But there were some real innovators in the game, like the guy that I'm playing right now, Skate Ace, who has all these crazy moves. And in those days, you probably didn't want to reveal your whole move set to everybody else except your closest friends. So
yeah, well then, yeah, and then you'd use it once in game, and someone would be like, "Oh shit," and then they just take it anyways. But
so to the average Joe, if you're playing against a guy like Skate Ace, and your mind's just being blown all the time. But there was a lot of innovation in those days because everything wasn't old at the time. So if somebody found a new transfer and it was able to be used in King of the Hill because the crown wasn't too heavy for it, then you'd be seeing everybody else doing that move after they learned it.
yeah, well, if they could on the spot. And then you'd always mess it up, and then you'd lose the crown. Yeah, unless you were like one of those primo players, right? That's kind of how that went. Did you just boost plan up to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. There's no way it's like normal.
But anyway, it was a great time to be a noob in the King of the Hill community because there's just so many pros to learn from and polish your game. Me personally, I liked to try to implement a little bit of everybody's style into my own style.
Yeah.
So
Probably not a bad idea.
So if I saw somebody, I studied. One of the things that I did was study a lot of movement. When people are dropping down, how do they approach rails? Things like that is what I really worked on in my ground game, and I'd say paid off pretty richly.
Yeah. So there was a poll on, I think it is on the KXTH website, where they say these are like the best players, and you were like second on that list. Who was first on that list? Do you know?
There was a poll, or
Yeah, well, it's like a poll of like by the end of maybe you were like, I think you were rated like the highest, most improved player, but then
yeah,
I
so
thought you
that
were rated like second on like the all-time player. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you could look it up and see. I have no idea.
so whenever Tony Hawk 4 went offline, or we thought it was offline for good, they kind of did this kind of like end of year awards or for on KXTH.
That's what it was. Yep.
Award. And they had this category where they wanted to recognize 5 of the top players to be quote unquote Tony Hawk 4 Hall of Famers. And you had like Helix, Skate Ace, Dev, Impulse, and I actually made the cut, which was crazy to me, at the time. I mean, it was humbling because, you always want to be recognized by your peers, and that was an awesome moment for me.
Yeah. Were there any others that you were like that they should be on that list that just almost nobody would even think about? Obviously, a lot of people that are listening have no idea like half these people are or more because they're not around anymore. But even for the people that are listening that are part of this list that went that far back, is there someone that you could say, do you remember this person? And they're going to think, oh shit, that guy was really good, but he never really had a mention.
Yeah, I mean, nothing to do with, because he still plays today, but so nothing to do with today. But if I'm thinking about that time, the end of 06, Crad probably should have been on that list.
I was about to say, yeah, where's Crad at on that list? Yeah, because I know he played and he was really good.
He was, or he is, like legit the fastest as far as movement, and the fastest as far as beating the game, since he holds the world record speed run for Tony Hawk 4.
Oh yeah, so it's not George. I thought it was George. Maybe George is 3. He must be Tony Hawk 3. He's done a lot of those speedruns. So what else we got? In terms of moves and like the progression, so we had quick turns. Was there any other? And quick turns is like the staple, right? And once that was implemented, that changed a lot. But is there anything else that's just as important as quick turns that was implemented later on or ever?
Let's see, quick turns was a big thing.
So I'm trying to think, and I really can't. I mean, in comparison, seam wallies. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seam wallies. I want to say that was.
Bonks.
Yeah, Bonks is probably.
Thank God this guy's in here.
I'm hesitant to include seam wallies because it's not typically legal to do that in a fair game, like same as like boost plan and all that.
That's true.
But if I'm playing, if everybody's cool with it, it's whatever. But
yeah,
if we're talking about legal, King of the Hill legal techniques, Bonks is there.
Yeah, Bonks is for sure. Dude, the seam, I can see where you're coming from with the seam too, because you can go in Shipyard and seam right through that little thing into the building.
Let me show you a great seam wally that Skate Ace taught me.
Then we got to go to. Well, yeah, people might crash if you go to Shipyard. Is that still a thing?
Not on PS2, I don't think.
Okay.
That was mainly like a Thug Pro thing.
I think it was actually on PS2 that you'd still freeze, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
So you might remember this from Tony Hawk 4 Evo 1. And
Yeah, and you were the first to do this, right?
Let me set the record. No, Skate Ace showed me
Okay.
how to get through this movie theater, and I was the first one to put it on video, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Oh, okay. So there's no like
There we
bad blood, eh? Did you do it with the crown?
There we go.
Did you do it with the crown? No. Is it possible to do that with the crown? It looks like it might be if you just got some crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Might be able to do like a flatland 3x and get across the water.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, try that sign bonk. That's a fun one. You gotta hit that the speed and everything. It used to be hard. Now it's probably easy. I don't know.
There we go.
Yeah, you just gotta. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how the timing of that works. There you go. It's hard, isn't it?
For real.
It's hard. I don't know. It's like when I look at it, I don't know. Like I don't even like smoke pot or something to have like this little crazy boost of external viewpoint on stuff, and I was like, I don't know. No, what the hell led me to believe that was possible? I know Crad really likes that transfer too.
It was capping for you, wasn't it? Like Exile or somebody?
It was no, you know who it was? It was West.
West,
and it's
West,
not the
right?
same West that people know as like Buck or Buck or his brother or something. I don't know, whoever the heck that is. Buck's brother. I don't know who the guy is, but
oh yeah.
No, it's like an old school West, and I actually have him on Steam now. It's pretty cool talking to him after all these years. Like, hey man, thanks for capping those first 2 videos back in 15 years ago almost.
He was probably like.
No, he remembered. He was like, "Hey, man, how you been?"
when you teaching a new King of the Hill or how to do quick turns, this is like the default.
Oh, this is a good one right here. Yeah, for sure. This is a hard one too, isn't it? Because you got those stairs in the way.
I think being host is messing with my frames a little bit.
Could be
on PS2,
or it's just a bad excuse.
Yeah. It's easier with the crown because you're heavier.
Yeah, that could actually be. Yeah, easier with the crown because you're heavier.
There you go.
Yeah. You already give up on that transfer? You didn't land the London one. Now you're not gonna land this one.
I did land. Let's see what else we got over here.
What's this one? Oh, you gonna boost plant to the bridge? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. 3X's are kind of hard.
Yeah, they're a dime a dozen. To do it consistently, man. I don't know.
For sure.
They're hard.
So, did you ever see the manual boost plant video?
Yeah, and it just blew my mind. Because it changes things. I mean, doing stuff off the flat ground. At first, I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought it was really lame. I was like, you can't boost plant off the ground. That's the dumbest thing. And now that I've kind of grown to see like butt slaps and stuff, I'm like, that's like the butt slap for this game.
For sure.
Yeah, I was like, no, you can't do that on Thug Pro, right? You can't do manual boost plant, or can you?
I know Skate Ace made a little mod to be able to do it the way it's done in Tony Hawk 4.
Okay, but just not straight out of the box, vanilla, not a thing.
No.
Okay. That's probably good. And they have enough crazy stuff you can already do. Well, you can already pretty much do that with BHRA, I suppose. So you don't even need it.
Oh, yeah. That's another tough one for me.
BHRA is hard as balls on this game. On this game, it's not BHRA. It's is that BHRA where you hold the revert and then you go higher?
Yeah, but I didn't think it was possible on 4. I thought that was like a thug thing.
No, you can hold the revert and then as long as you don't ollie and you grind, you can you touch the ground and you do it like BHRA style and you can get an extra height boost. That's how Brasbox did a crazy bonk in college. You know that flag?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that flagpole one. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, "Holy shit! That is the craziest thing I've ever seen."
Oh, dude, remember this spine transfer over this house?
Yeah, it's
It's like
it's the craziest thing.
it's so weird
It
because
is weird. It's because it's
you,
glitchy. It's not like I
you
don't
just
know.
hit this weird angle, and for some reason, it just launches you over the whole house.
Yeah, it's really trippy. I wonder what the like the properties of that object are that allow you to do that. It's really weird.
But what was some of your favorite transfers from the first couple of Tony Hawk 4 Evas?
Oh man. Honestly, I didn't rewatch them, so I don't know. You had this one in Alcatraz that you were trying for quite some time, and it's because you didn't want to start it a certain way. You wanted like this cool intro to it, so you wanted to do like an FS 540 flat to a grind and all this other stuff. But yeah, it was a revert transfer basically across like most of the level to a grind.
Yeah,
So that
dude.
was pretty cool. Do you remember this?
I was doing that like a couple days ago. I was just trying to see if I could hit it again, and it's actually not that hard. You just have to get the right amount of speed at the right angle.
Yeah, but for us back, I mean, when we were just starting to do these revert transfers, it was really hard. I mean, you were trying that shit for hours because I think I was recording you.
You
Yeah,
know, it was all about the presentation for the video, so
that's what it
you gotta,
was because you wanted to have the beginning of it be really cool, for sure.
yeah, you must have spent like hours capping me because I didn't have a capture card at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, that there. I mean, that is definitely one of the cooler ones. I don't know, and I don't know why. Just something about it. I think I just appreciated the whole intro you did before it as well. What else? That seam that you did land in San Fran, even though it wasn't technically yours or whatever, it's still pretty cool. You made it look cool. Your King of the Hill launch here from that
Dude,
glitchy area.
did you ever get that to work on Thug Pro?
No, but it's surprising because I think it should work. I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't work on Thug Pro. But yeah, in terms of yours, that's probably what I got. I think. Oh man, it's pretty pathetic. I should have rewatched them all before here. Yeah, I don't know. I like the music on all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had a surprisingly good ear for the music because I had no idea what music you were gonna put on the videos.
Yeah, you were just kind of rolling with it. You were like, okay, I trust this guy. And then I ended up failing miserably editing. I think it was like the third one was probably the most fluid, but then the fourth one, I had a bunch of codec issues. So when you watch it, like some of the
Oh
like,
yeah,
Sleepy's clips are all frozen and janked up. And
it's like the whenever Metallica kicks in and like some of the shots are frozen.
yeah, I wish I still had those clips and I could like put them back in and re-render them, but it's not going to be a thing. So
Yeah, I mean, I thought we added a lot to the variety when we started putting guests in the videos.
yeah, and that was the third one. That's when I was like, look, I'm just gonna step back. You guys can go nail out some stuff, and that actually ended up being probably the best one. I think most people like that one the most, but I don't know. I thought
Oh,
the
dude, remember
second one's my favorite.
like whenever I started doing boost plants off of the quarter pipes to like enhance the height and
Yeah,
make it look like a 4x.
yeah. I wonder, were you the first one to do that? 'Cause I hadn't seen
I
that before.
think so
I
because
seen it with like a 1x, but I never saw anyone boost plan and then
I hadn't seen anybody do it like with a 2 or a 3.
I couldn't even get this launch to work again on here. So I don't know how you did. You don't need the crown, right?
No,
That was the only other thing I was thinking is like, do I need the crown to do the launch? Because I was gonna take this launch and go to like a wall ride bounce or a bounce or something.
There we go.
Holy shit! The height, like,
Obviously, when you're a lot heavier.
Yeah, when you're heavier, it's gonna. Yeah, I got you.
I should have probably filmed a little while longer to see if I could hit one of those pipes that are over the water with the crown.
Yeah, well, you went to the water tower. That's good enough. Yeah, that was really cool. Were you the one that discovered that then, or?
No, I did not discover this glitch.
Okay. But the launch.
The launch with the crown, yeah.
Right.
I've never seen anybody do that.
Could you imagine if you could pull that off in a game? Like everyone's behind you and you just quick go up there and then you're like, surprise! That'd be hilarious. What's your favorite Tony Hawk for you? Do you have a favorite?
Probably, I really liked the second one. I thought, like, just the music. That was the one that I thought had some of the best old school transfers in.
Yeah, I thought it was a good mix of
But,
like the boost plants and the technicality, and of course, yeah, the music I thought was awesome. I was like, yeah, I gotta use these songs.
You know, I'm also partial to the third one. You know, just because for everybody that included, and the music was awesome. You know, that was probably the first time I heard the band 10 years.
Yeah, yeah, I think a lot of people like that song. Yeah, now that years have passed, I still talk about like the song, but yeah, the Wasteland song. And then yeah, the third one also had people like Bad Ace in it. You know, his Alcatraz transfers here were pretty damn cool.
Yeah,
I think that was the third one, right? Yeah. Was it the third one or was it the fourth one? Where he launches off a sketch and then goes all the way back up to the roof. I think that's the third one.
Third one, I believe.
Yeah.
Because was it the third one where you had this sweet like improv from like Dusty?
Is that how you say his name? Yeah, I called him Doc, which doesn't make sense because Dak. Was it Dak? Dusty. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just say
that would make sense. That's how you say it. DAC. That guy is a beast. I wonder if he's still playing. He is really good.
Yeah. Gotta mention the crazy stuff Brazzbox and Buck were doing at the time.
Oh yeah, we had Buck and Brazzbox. We had God, who else do we have that was like became super good? It was there's one other one.
He's still playing.
Casey, yeah. All these people that ended up being just crazy at the later games too, not just this one.
And who else was in there?
I think that's most of them. Like Sleepy was in there. I'm gonna feel bad if I forgot anyone. but yes, I think we covered a lot of that video. I think that's most people. But yeah, so we gotta kind of, since we're still in this era, going back to King of the Hill. So when the server went down, the actual one hosted by whoever hosted the original server. So what is that? Is that through Neversoft? Like, is that a Neversoft server, but it's through GameSpy, or how does that work?
So GameSpy hosted the lobby for all the Tony Hawk games, and it actually still hosted the lobby for quite a number of years after the quote-unquote shutdowns, because all these private servers were doing at the time before OpenSpy came out was just giving you a message of the day to connect to, which would allow you to connect to the GameSpy lobbies, which still existed behind that, the fact that they had taken down the message of the day, so making it inaccessible by normal means.
Oh, okay. Why would they do that?
I could only guess that Neversoft or Activision wanted you to buy the latest game in the series.
Oh, sure. That would make sense. Yeah. Okay, so I gotta ask if you know.
Yeah.
So when those servers closed, right, and then we started doing this whole DNS thing, did that affect any connection issues for doing things like King of the Hill? Was it better, worse, the same? Is it just the same because it's technically kind of the same server, I guess?
it was all the same for a while because we were still on GameSpy. Nothing really changed except you were just grabbing a different message of the day from somebody else.
Right.
Obviously now with OpenSpy, it's an improved server infrastructure. It's been fine-tuned for many years, so it's probably better than GameSpy was, like as far as connection issues, like NAT negotiation, or maybe even some lag issues, because I'm sure the servers these days are a lot better than whatever Neversoft used back in the day.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Skate is kind of confirmed.
yeah,
It's all the same.
Ace and Crad are the OpenSpy aficionados, so they know the ins and outs of what's going on OpenSpy at all times.
Right.
The THC, he's the head developer for OpenSpy. He's been the one working on it for all these years.
So does he pay some sort of hosting fee to have that, or how does that work? Like, I guess I don't know how the back end of things work. Maybe sometime I have to get someone on to just like go full ham and explain how all that shit works, because I am dumb as a rock when it comes to that.
I think Ace and Crad could give you a better, more exact number, but yeah, they do pay quite a bit to keep the servers up year by year.
Yeah, because it would have to cost money.
And it's pretty amazing that they've provided this service for all the Tony Hawk players, pretty much free of charge ever since the mid 2000s, maybe the late 2000s, 2010s. So thinking back to the end of 05, we're talking about the beginning of December. Neversoft had published a new message of the day on Tony Hawk 4, which read something like, as of January 1st, 2006, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 servers will no longer be available. Thank you for playing, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that really caused a panic because everybody didn't want the servers to go down. And so during that last month, you really saw a lot of old school people hopping back on for one last hurrah, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so one of the big things in that time was, did you play on New Year's Eve 05?
Was that the last day it was on? Or...
It's supposed to be, but
okay,
it wasn't. They didn't actually pull the message of the day down until January 10th, 06. For whatever reason, they just kept it active for like another week and a half.
Yeah, they were on like vacation, and they're just like, yeah, we'll change it when we get there.
But on December 31st, 2005, was one of the most active days on Tony Hawk 4 Online. You had tons of old schoolers coming back, a lot of King of the Hill players. I believe Ace was there. We actually had like a King of the Hill room going from like the evening hours right now to like 8:30 in the morning.
Holy shit! Yeah, yeah. I do remember being online very, very little, only because someone made a video of us just messing around.
Your guest next week, PTC, he made a really awesome video chronicling the last day of Tony Hawk 4 Online. Yeah. And just all the crazy stuff people were doing, like just like doing like doubles, combos and lines and stuff like that. But one of the cool things about that video, just a little tidbit, was it's probably the last time anybody's ever seen Magic Summer online.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. And
he hadn't
video. Played a lot either, though, even before then. I think he was just popping in, probably, right?
Yeah. It's really weird because aside from those I1 and I2 videos, you really didn't see him online. And Dodeman had told me before that I think he was from like Switzerland, so the time difference was probably a big thing. But right. Don't quote me on this, but I had heard rumors that he would pop online under the pseudonym Tragic Winter and just play.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that name too. Yeah, I could have been playing with them and I wouldn't have had any idea.
But so anyway, they kept the servers on, or the message of the day, active for an extra 10 days, and on one night on the evening of January 10th, 06, I was playing in a room with a couple of other people, and the servers were dead by that time. Nobody was really playing online like they were at the end of the year. So one time, everybody just like lost connection to the room, and you try to reconnect, and it just says the master server is not available. So I was actually like playing whenever they cut the message of the day off.
I'm surprised I wasn't playing at that time because I played the crap out of this game during that time period.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe I was, and I just don't remember. So, I mean,
I remember you like back in those times, like when I was just hanging out with the King of the Hill people. You would pop into the King of the Hill rooms every now and then, and like actually like hold your own.
yeah, I was trying, man. I was like, I could. I know sometimes I did pretty good, but yeah, I just I didn't. I got sick of it. And what's really shitty is I didn't actually enjoy King of the Hill that much until way closer to the end. And I was like, I missed this, I actually played King of the Hill way more when the servers were down, and then you had to type in a DNS.
So about the DNS, when they had gone down, I think it was biohacker Chase Secrist. He gave everybody this program called UPM12.exe, which was like a LAN tunnel for people to play online.
I remember it.
I remember you using it because you invited me to play one time.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure it out. So months go on, and one night on March 31st, 2006, Helix of the KXCH community, he introduces that he has set up his own message of the day server. And all you have to do is type in this IP, and you can play like you've always played. So that got a pretty big reception out of the whole Tony Hawk 4 community. There was a lot of people online when that first came out. And
how many would you say? I mean, do you have any idea if you could pull a rough number? How do you ask? Like, what?
Yeah, I made a post about it when it happened, and it was probably like between 30 and 40 people.
Okay, I mean that's a decent chunk for having to physically type in an IP address. Yeah.
And so he kept that running for a number of months, and I couldn't tell you an exact reason why, but he decided, I think it was like running off of a desktop computer that he had, and he didn't want to keep it online 24/7, so he started looking at maybe discontinuing his server and having somebody else take over. So that was around the time that I think Biohacker had made his own DNS, and this led the way for other guys like Snipe, who ran THPS.us, to make a server which held up for a number of years. And Bob's came onto the scene and put up his DNS, which has had an absolute awesome uptime for the last several years.
And it's still up, isn't it?
Yeah. It's still up right now.
What is he? Is this? I never even heard of him until you mentioned him. Does he play Tony Hawk Online, or like is he just a guy that's just like, this is cool, and just host it? Like, what's going on with that?
I don't think he was like a real like player, but he'll hop on. He obviously knows a lot about the games, and because his server brought back a lot of features that weren't included on the original DNS servers, like face in the game and working vaults.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. You could upload your parts.
Yeah, and a lot of
while
people
there.
forget that on Tony Hawk 4 you were able to upload caps, and then on Thug 1 you could upload casses and caps and even like custom goals for goal attack.
You could do that on Thug, the first one?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. That I did not know.
And creative tricks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and creative tricks. That's right. Yeah. So with Thug 1, do you think was that King of the Hill scene ever as big as Tony Hawk Force?
Um, I was just talking to Ace about this a couple days ago. I was kind of curious about, just how much the King of the Hill community thrived on Thug 1, and it was probably, if not on par, with Tony Hawk 4, it was at least the second biggest King of the Hill community in all of Tony Hawk, because so many players only played Thug, and the only way that we knew about him was through the forums, or maybe if they hopped on Tony Hawk 4 just in passing. Like, there were several prominent Thug-only King of the Hillers. I know a lot of the SN clan that Skate Ace is in, a lot of those players originated on Thug and perhaps only played Thug. But I would say overall, if it wasn't on par with 4, the Thug King of the Hill community was second to 4 in terms of size.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Thug 2 and Thaw really had that big of a community for King of the Hill. I mean, I can't speak for Thug 2 PC, but Thug 2 console, I only knew a handful of King of the Hill players.
Do you think it would have been easier on that because of the walking and everything? And did they do no walk servers, or like what's your take on that? Do you know anything about? So I know you didn't play much of it, but do you know if they hosted like no walk servers back in the day?
I'm sure they did it like as more of like a novelty kind of thing.
Sure.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if there was people that played it exclusively, because walk was one of like the biggest features that people enjoyed about Thug, and it also made a lot of moves either easier or possible, like grabbing wires and things like that.
Yeah.
But Thug PS2, like I said, was plagued by that host advantage and lag issues. So for the people that stuck out and played it competitively, it was always that thing about, oh, so and so has host advantage, and the lag was too bad, and that's all from my perspective that I had been hearing through the grapevine while I was playing 4.
Yeah, it's really bad on Thug Pro. And Thug Pro was based off of Thug 2, I guess. Right? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Did you? I remember specifically playing Thug with you a handful of times, but did you ever play it like for real? Like, this is what you want to pick up?
Hell no. No. No, not at all. No, I pretty much just entirely skipped it, and now I do regret it, because now that I start playing it just in my own time every once in a while, even on this emulator, I'm like, yeah, I just was that old fart that was like, didn't want that change. Because now when you look at it and you look at the levels and how big they were, like some of those levels were really big in terms of like top down, the height you could get and things you could do. I mean, yeah, if I would have played that more, I'm sure I wouldn't be known as much just for Tony Hawk 4. But I mean, it was never my thing. I didn't like the feel of it. But now that I start playing it now, I'm just like, yeah, I missed out. But what do you do?
And the thing that pops into my mind when you say that is just thinking about how freaking good Brassbox was to get so good at 4 Thug and Thug 2.
Yeah, I mean, it helps, I think, because you start on this, so you're forced to not walk, and you're forced to not, shuffle. You're forced to not do, what is that, drifting and all these other things. So I think that really helps, like, the precision of the transfers that he can hit. It's just ridiculous. Like, he can do transfers where he's not drifting. He's not doing anything, and it's just crazy. And I think he's doing them in, like, Thug and Thug 2, and I think that's just attributed that he was so damn good at this that he was able to pull off all of these things,
I remember, meeting him on 4. He was in like a Brazilian clan called NEW, and his name was Blazed at the time.
Oh, was it? Okay.
And he was like always hosting these trick attack rooms with his clan mate, a dude named Millennium. But yeah, that's how I met Brassbox through the game. A lot of old schoolers that went on to become great. You just see him in passing on 4.
Yeah, like who else? Anybody else you can think of?
Like, I remember one of the first times Buck and his little brother came around. And they were super interested in King of the Hill. That they had started this hybrid improv King of the Hill clan called like SK Style Kings or something like that. And played a lot on King of the Hill back in the day with Green.tlt.
Green got really good. Buck and Green got really damn good at King of the Hill. They would have been probably pretty good contenders if they kept going on.
Dude.
One of my.
I specifically remember one of those events that I was telling you about for PXTH. One of the special events, we were teamed up. I think it was like me and Impulse were teamed up, taking on Green and this other guy, another upstart named Pulp. And they were just like surprised as to how so freaking good they were for new players. And I guess that's just goes to show, how fast somebody can get good just by playing with pros all the time.
Yeah, well, you've seen the players that come out of nowhere on Thug Pro. They play for a few years and they're just dominating that game. I don't know how they do on here necessarily. I think they would do fine if they just got used to, not being able to do certain things. But yeah, the new players that start playing, they play for a few years. It's just insane. Yeah.
I mean, you see a lot of guys that were so good back then, and then they come back. It's like they haven't missed a beat. Like Thug, the guy in your clan, SMG.
That guy is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean,
putting out some very impressive stuff.
We actually potentially weren't going to let him in. A couple of us had to be persuaded, like, I don't know if this guy's ready, or he just came back. Like, what makes you think he's going to be good right off the bat? And I'm like, yeah, I think, eventually, it didn't take too much persuading for me necessarily, but there was a couple holdouts, and I was like, yeah, I think we should probably just see what happens, because I watched some of his old videos, and I was like, okay, this guy's fucking crazy. If he even gets this good, we're good. And then he comes back and he invents the thop just out of nowhere. I'm like, this fucking guy. It was ridiculous. Yeah, he's crazy, man. Definitely underrated, I would say. If he doesn't have recognition, he's underrated because he's a crazy. Yeah, he's super good.
But in that same mindset, we were making the TH4 Evas. Believe it or not, first video was only a few months after the first TLTV. So just trying to kind of emulate that presentation that was presented where, hey, transfer videos can be more than just going from point A to point B, you can actually add storytelling elements to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, like with TLT, are you talking about with those type
Yeah,
of videos? Yeah.
yeah. Um, like, do you remember when the first THO TV was?
Oh man, I don't. I don't remember, which is probably not good. Yeah, I don't. I actually don't remember the course of time that they were all made either. I just remember kind of how.
There was like some side ones, weren't there? Like Total TH Overdose or something like that.
That was so. I think actually THO TV 1 through 5 was like the real things, right? And then after that, all these other ones came out. I think they were mostly
Oh yeah.
after though. I don't think they were. I don't think it was like THO 1 to 3, and then like this other one came out, and then TV 4 came out. I think it was. I
So
think it was the whole series.
like the point I was trying to make was like you have these good videos coming out, and if you're following these releases, like it just pushes you to try to live up to that level. Um, you had the TLTVs and THO TVs coming out around the same time, and suddenly you have all these other teams making super good videos. Like I know you mentioned earlier in the previous podcast about the Jehu video, and uh, that obviously that was like more recent, but when you have these awesome videos coming out, I think it drives the community to push the level even further, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the primary goals of even the clan that I'm in right now is really just to
For sure. I mean,
yeah.
SMG Smooth Moves Volume 1 was like a major throwback to those days.
Yeah, just something like that hadn't been done for a long time, so we were hoping that would spark something, and it seems to at least helped out some. It's not the only reason. I think there's just the timing of a lot of things has kind of come together where a lot of videos have come out lately. It's been a little more stagnant in the past couple weeks, but for a while there, not too long after that,
Yeah.
there was just crap tons of, and some of them were really pretty good. A lot of tech videos and grand videos and stuff. Yeah, so I don't know, but there's still not many team videos.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an issue though because you got to live up to that first one. So it's kind of when you start when you start trying to make a second one, you're like, is this gonna be good enough? But I think we'll be happy with it.
So you're always trying to improve on the previous release, which was the idea that I had in my mind when we were TH4 Evas.
Yeah, and they did.
And
I think they did progress actually really good.
yeah, for sure.
You watch them in that course of like you say it was like 6 months or something. They all came out. Like
we can.
I mean that's crazy. And look at
um, pump out 4 volumes in 6 months, and it's been like 14 years, and we haven't made a fifth.
No, we had talked about it. We had talked about it. I blame you. You weren't capping. I think you ran out of stuff to do. Yeah. Well, it's okay. We had a really good successor. TH for Eva, whatever the hell with Dixis was just ridiculous. That was you saw that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy. Some of the stuff in there is absolutely bonkers. So, whatever. We have that at least. But yeah, in terms of like another just raw TH4 video, I think the last one I made, I haven't seen any others in the last very long time. I think Dixis made one more, which was pretty good, but it was short.
What was your last Tony Hawk 4 project on PS2, like before emulator? Was it Chicago?
Yeah, that would have been it.
Wow.
Yeah. That or Past, Present, Future.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is like crazy because it's been like 10 years. But I don't know. I'm content with the ones I did on emulator. I mean, some of them had save states or whatever, but like the 1 foot nose, man, go look at that, try replicating some of that. It'll show that, there's still a fair bit of skill involved in transitioning to this game.
For sure.
And that's no save states at all. So I was content with that. But yeah, more cinematic style was like what I'm trying to do more nowadays. So like this next one that I'm working on, just a solo project, is super focused on story and cinematic. So.
Oh, nice solo project.
Yeah, pretty big one. Lots of green screen. I green screened myself into the game in quite a few cases, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. But it's Thug Pro, so it's not this. I think it's gonna be hard to do anything with this now.
Good to see you get more involved with Thug Pro. So, I mean, it only makes sense. It's really the only game people play now.
Yeah, and it's not even that. I mean, I played Tony Hawk 4 when nobody played it practically for the longest time, but now it's just like I think I have reached a point where like I'm ready to put this game down and move on finally. I mean, it took 15 years, but I think to the point that I'm ready. I think I've done everything that I can possibly conceptualize in my mind. I mean, when I start doing save states transfers, it's like everything is possible. If you think of it, you can make it happen. But now that I've done a few of those already, it's like I can't think of anything else that I'd want to do. Other than like a cinematic. Well, I did that Chicago in the RIV TV. But yeah, so I have more notes here too. Is there like what else can we say about King of the Hill though? Because is there ever been like a relapse lately that people came back on here and it was kind of active like every week within the past like say I don't know 7-8 years, 10 years even? Like has there been any sort of relapse of King of the Hill on this game?
Like on a grand scale, I would say no, because thinking back to like the year 2009 and 2010, there wasn't like that many King of the Hillers playing just like randomly. You'd have to schedule your get-togethers and all that. But
it doesn't help that we started aging and having jobs and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
right.
It's like you start playing this game when you're 14, and like I'm 30 now. So,
yeah.
But on Thug Pro, there's been some resurgences, and then it goes ebbs and flows. Like the last time they hosted a King of the Hill tournament on Discord, NFA's Discord, there was quite a few pickup games going on Thug Pro at the time. Just people sharpening their skills, I guess.
Yeah. Would you ever be down to play this on like even like a once a month type thing where we host a game? Since we can do this, it's pretty damn easy to just type in this DNS and go. Like I thought I was going to be a huge big deal when we were trying all this stuff, but by the time we had it set up for me, I was like, this is easy peasy.
Once a month stream sounds good, man. I mean,
yeah, well, we don't even have to stream it, but just get a bunch of people playing King of the Hill together. Maybe get these people back and try working out their schedules some. Maybe do it like I think nights on the weekends probably most ideal.
We can get like almost a full room on a week's notice. I'm sure we can get a full room easily.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, 8 gets pretty crazy with King of the Hill, but
I like it like that though.
It is pretty dang fun, yeah. But even just to have somewhat of a small thing coming back to this, I think it would be really cool. I know I'd be a part of it. I would definitely participate.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fun.
Maybe who knows? Maybe possibly a King of the Hill tournament on 4.
Yeah, well, it's because every game I've played, man, on for King of the Hill, it's just not the same because you're forced to not be able to correct yourself right on the spot. By getting off your board or drifting, everything's much more precise on this game. It's really difficult. Like I think if people got on here and they started playing, they realized how crazy it gets, but without any techniques and how intense it really is. Because you're somewhat limited, but then you're kind of not in a lot of ways. I don't know. It's something that you have to play to kind of understand. But
I mean, it's just a matter of getting people motivated to either pull out their PS2 or set up the emulator.
Yeah, it's not hard. Like the tutorial to do it for modern, if you have any sort of modern PC, you can probably play it on the emulator. I am still trying to figure out the input delay though. Input delay is kind of.
Do you get a lot of input lag on your end?
Yeah, I do. It's very noticeable. It's not noticeable if I don't play anything else for like a day and I just play this and I come back onto this, then I don't notice it. But if I like go on Thug Pro right now and I see my actions on the screen versus here, it's totally noticeable. Totally. I can't play Thug Pro and then this and then try to like transfer hunt or improv. It just doesn't happen. It's just not possible. So
transfer hunt. I haven't done that in a while.
Oh yeah, I'm still looking for stuff on here. But it's hard. It's so hard now to find new stuff. It's just even on Thug Pro, it's hard, kind of. But
did you ever do a lot of? Sorry, I didn't want to sidetrack.
No,
but did you ever do a lot of like glitches on this game?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everybody knows about the Heaven glitch.
Yeah, Heaven's super popular. This one into the cage is very cool. The aquarium's cool. There's some stuff you can do. Like I remember doing the double set restart. It was kind of a pain in the ass back in the day. for the out of bounds. Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, you were like, I just remembered you were like one of the best at SCG.
Yeah, the set cuss glitch was my jam. I couldn't do it now though, especially with this emulator. It'd be really hard.
Wow.
It'd be really hard. I don't think I could do it. But yeah. I remember.
Are you on the PS2 controller on emulator?
Yeah, PS2 controller. I remember first seeing someone do it. It was some guy. He was like, it was hilarious too because he had a clown character. And he just fucking comes in front of me. And I'd never seen this guy online before. It just like he came back out of nowhere because this was probably towards the end of the shelf life of the game before I really got good at set cuss glitch. But I just saw this guy, he comes up in front of me and like he's like levitating in front of me. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he just keeps going higher and higher and higher. And I was just like, what in the shit? I was like, he's like hacking, It's like if you hacked your game, that's pretty cool, And he's like, oh, you want to learn how to do this? And I'm like, hell yeah. And he told me how to do it, and I was like, there's no fucking way that's possible. Like, I thought he was screwing with me, and here it's like a legit thing. You can just set cust and ollie and set cust and ollie, and I'm like, this is crazy. And the guy made it look so simple. It's just like blew my mind. I don't know who it was.
Talking to a doting crowd about the amount of time it must have took to discover some of these glitches back in the day. It must have been insane. Like, just totally off the wall glitches. Like,
fuck yeah! I don't know how they would have thought of stuff. I don't know.
So I guess back in the day, TXO had a website, a side website, like how the Lions Hub hosted all the videos. Well, there they had a glitch vault that had all the like glitches, like a glossary of glitches and images.
Yeah, I remember it for sure.
And another one who had a really good glitch database was the Bigo clan. They were very meticulous with providing images for each step, and I was going back and looking up some old glitches, trying to look up old glitches for the stream here today, and unfortunately Bigo's glitch database is no more, or at least not right now.
Okay.
Seems to be taken down.
The images helped out a lot, because I remember sometimes I would try and like find in a walkthrough or something, but didn't have images, and I was like, I can't. You need the images. It's so hard to describe in text, like where a certain corner is that you're gonna try doing like the corner glitching into. It's like you need that image.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. I mean,
but back then, loading a page of images on dial-up, that sucked balls. That'd take like fucking 2 minutes to load a page if it had a lot of images.
Oh yeah, that's why like back in the day, like if you had like a computer class in high school, that's where I downloaded all my Tony Hawk videos.
That's exactly what I did. I'd skip lunch and go to the library, and like I would be watching because Nacho was UK somewhere,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And so the release for him would be like noon. For me, it'd be perfect. I'd skip lunch and throw on headphones and watch it in the library. And the only reason I was able to do that is because I was in tight with the librarian. I was like, yeah, I don't
Oh
do
wow.
much. So other than that, like I had the whole library to myself, so I'd just go on these computers and watch all these videos.
Yeah, I made like a disc of like a bunch of videos from TXO and thuglife.com. I downloaded. That's where I downloaded the Skate Aces King of the Hill Moves video. A bunch of transfer videos from TXO that I would have never been able to download at home because of the connection speed.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to do it overnight, and then your parents would get pissed because you were taking up the landline.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do if Grandma has a heart attack? She can't get a hold of you. You know?
Dude, for sure. I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I mean, that's the dial-up life, I guess.
Yeah, that dial-up life for sure. Yeah, but when I got broadband, it was a game changer. I was like, I can host 8? This is crazy. I can host 8 players? Coming back on.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was so good at King of the Hill after that. After playing so long on dial-up, I was like actually getting people. It was amazing.
I vaguely have memories now of you hosting like 3-person room because that was the limit on dial-up.
Okay, see, I thought it was 4. I thought it was 4, but it's actually 3.
Wait a second, on 4 would have
TH4.
been.
Was it
No,
4
I think
or
it's
3?
3 on this game, and then I think it might have been 4 on Tony Hawk 3.
So it's 3, including yourself, or was it?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was 3 players. Man, that is a weird number. And no observers, right? You couldn't have an observer.
No,
could you have one?
none at all.
None at all. Okay. Yeah, because I was talking to someone about that, and I just couldn't remember. I was like, I thought you could host 4. I think I actually said that in a previous podcast. We could host 4, but yeah, that's nuts. So you go from that to being able to have 8 observers and 8 players. Isn't it 8 observers?
Did you ever,
Or is it like just a couple? I can't remember.
what, on this game?
Yeah.
No, you can host 7 people in your room and 1 observer for a total of 9 people.
Oh, so it's only 1 observer.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh yeah, Skate Ace brings up a good point. I'll tell you a funny story. There's this guy in the Storian clan called ESO. His name was Darkness.
Darkness is
yeah.
OG DARC, right?
Yeah. That's it.
We were pretty tight for a while because we used to whore all the time. We would always try to see who could bill first on like some level.
He hopped on, like, and he told us he had HughesNet satellite service.
Yeah.
Me and Crad were hanging out and just watching him play, and man, he was like skipping all over the level, like the worst lag you could believe without losing connection or timing out. And for some reason, it let him stay in the room the whole time.
It was hilarious. I remember sometimes he'd even get DC'd because there'd be like a cloud. He's like looking out his window because I remember typing to him. We would do this thing where we would be doing Trick Attack, and we would try typing sentences and shit while we're in the air, and then revert, and then just keep it going. Like sometimes we would see if we could count to 100, just typing in the air, and then land and revert and keep the combo going.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Just stupid stuff like this, but. I remember this one time he was telling me, he's like, "Oh, looks like there's a lot of clouds out, man. I might DC." I'm like, "That's gotta suck, man."
Oh god.
Yeah. I remember him DCing a couple times when he'd be in a combo for like 10 minutes, and he had to have been close to like 800 to a bill or something. And then he'd DC and he'd be like, "Fuck!" He'd come back on. That was pretty good,
dude. I remember off the wall stuff like that, like. I think it was Pants in the Can that would get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, Pants in the Can was the one. I think he was. I don't know if he was the first, but I think he might have been the first to record it. Then I thought it was cool when I could do it. I was like, "Look at me, I can do it too."
That was actually pretty sweet, dude.
I still have. Yeah. I have to one up that. I don't know if anyone's ever done this. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in one combo. On Thug Pro.
Really?
Yeah, I did the calculation.
Oh, man.
On,
Did you cap it?
Oh yeah, it's up there. Yeah, it was, and the last manual is crazy. How fast the digits are going, and I just
Yeah.
timed that ollie. It's like the odds of timing that last ollie. If people watch the video, is like crazy. It was pure luck. It wasn't skill. It had to
Dude,
have been pure luck on the timing of it, but it worked out. Pretty funny.
I remember observing you like billing shipyard a couple times, and just like you'd be like playing normally like you are now, and then be like, oh yeah, let me switch a few tricks, and you like add the Indy 900 and all that, and then you just bill it like nothing, or go negative or whatever.
Yeah, well, by then it was so easy. You could probably get like a billion blindfolded because I mean it's the same line. It's just yeah. The
But,
lines sure changed throughout the years. I'll tell you that they weren't as simple.
well, yeah, college is not so simple. The college team one.
Oh, the college one isn't. Yeah, that's a way spread out one. That's probably the most spread out line for sure. Yeah. I always wondered if there was a better line for that, but that probably messed it up. And I don't think there is because that roof you can do 540 or 720 the 900 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there's probably not a better line.
but just while we're on that quick little subject, who was the best whores? Before like you and Box, and
Best
was it Bunker King?
whores. Oh yeah, Bunker King definitely. Bunker King. Pants was actually really good if you mention him. Um,
Darkness.
well, yeah, but that was kind of like the same era as me. In terms of like
Oh,
before me, it's hard. I don't know too much other than Bunker King and Pants and Can. I don't know many of the OG Trick Attack pros. Like I don't know. That's why I'm trying to get like Base on this podcast because he'll know. I'm sure Base built plenty of levels. He probably
really?
built the three,
I didn't
Alcatraz,
know that.
Shipyard, and San Fran. I'm sure he built all three. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In fact, a lot of the
Uh,
provers that came
yeah.
that really became really good at improving, they probably build the big three, I guess, as I call them. But in terms of like building other levels,
Yes.
that I think is a rarity. I don't know if anyone's legitimately on PlayStation 2 build all levels other than me and maybe Browsebox. I don't know if Browsebox did that, but
Wow. Build Carnival.
yeah. Yeah, and actually the hardest one for me is Kona, I think. Something about that Kona line. Because the manual balance to me isn't too bad. Grind balance is kind of a question. And so, I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, the Kona one uses that special part, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, so if you screw that part up, that's not good. So yeah, the podcast is mainly going to be about King of the Hill, and I'll kind of get sidetracked. Is there anything else? Because we covered most important eras, which was just before the server was closing and just after the servers got up. But is there any part after that, later on, that that we should talk about? Or is there anyone that you should mention, or any other moves that we should mention? Um, Before we kind of move on from King of the Hill, I guess.
see, you can log on to kxch.com right now and just pull up the user list, and you probably have a story about every single one of those people. But just shout out to Mock, SN, the Black Magic Clan on Thug. Uh, funny story. Before the server shutdown around '05 or so, they were actually seriously considering merging Mock and SN to become collectively known as Smokin'.
Oh, nice. That would be hard. That's a long clan tag. How would you even do that?
It would take up most of your username, I think.
Yeah, everyone would have to have like 2-letter usernames. Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to like just do the first and last initials of each player and then have this really long clan tag. I wonder if anyone's ever done that. That'd be pretty funny.
um, just Tony Hawk 4 era was something that I know me and you will never forget. Shout out to all the people that were there in those years, the glitchers, the whores, the King of the Hill players, even like the people that came in the years after, like say Brasbox, guys like that were able to come onto the game after it was long dead and just own it.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to see, if the game kept popular and active. Like, I wonder what would be different. I don't know, like, there's limitations for sure, but I wonder if something else would have been found, or if there's still more stuff to be found in terms of techniques with this engine, or if it's pretty much all been done. Because, I mean,
the engine is like such. It's the way it's set up between like Tony Hawk 3 and Thug. It's still kind of limited in what you can do, but
yeah, I think every technique has been discovered. Now that you guys found manual boost plan, I think that. Oh, and then Brasbox basically found the revert boost BHRA style.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That was crazy.
Someone find something. But the problem is with that is, so every time we think we found them all, someone new finds something. Problem is that now no one's really playing this game. So I don't think I'd be great if something else is found down here. But yeah, in terms of Thug Pro, there's probably more because that game is ridiculous. The vanilla of that game is insane.
It's so many variables and options in Thug Pro as far as the gameplay that you can really fine tune it to what you want to get out of it. But for me, I'll just say that Tony Hawk 4 engine at its core was probably the best engine for King of the Hill. Like,
for sure.
Not only from a netcode standpoint, but like just the speed and the precision that it requires.
And capture the flag.
Oh yeah, we didn't even touch on.
We didn't even touch on because I was gonna mention there's what's that capture the flag clan that's super popular, MCTF or something.
Yeah,
Masters capture.
And there's Masters that capture the flag, and Crowd actually started the clan with a guy named Magic, not to be confused with Magic Summer.
Yeah, I remember.
But they really got quite good quite fast, and they weren't just hosting capture the flag games all the time. They were playing King of the Hill too, so they became quite prominent in the KXTH years, I would say, because aside from Mach and SN, there really weren't many collective teams that were doing it at that level. Yeah. So they brought a new flavor to the game, and got to mention them because some of the capture the flag games that were played over the years were unforgettable.
And it was a hell of a lot of fun, even if you were just a part of it. Even if you were just in the same room playing with them, it was a hell of a lot of fun. But if you were in the same room playing with like high level King of the Hill players that were going to start playing capture the flag, that was really crazy. Yeah, that was. Do you have any of those old maps where we played the one that was King of the Hill, but there's some old capture the flag maps where it's like you start way high and then the rest, if you fall, you just die and then respawn. And then you got to get to the other side below.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm actually going to rejoin you because I would like to play it.
It's kind of like a noob level because it's when you know how to do all these techs like boost plan and corner glitch, just own the level. But if you play it how it's intended, it could be kind of fun.
Yeah, I remember corner glitching did ruin some of these. Actually, but it kind of made it fun too at the same time. But it was like you could decide, do we allow corner glitches or do we just yeah.
But some of those capture the flag games on the vanilla levels, you talk about college, San Fran, Alcatraz, London, even Chicago was those were the best capture the flag levels for this game. Believe it or not, I probably only played capture the flag like once or twice on Shipyard, but No, I
Yeah,
like
I
I
gotcha.
like Shipyard too, but
Right.
nobody really played it.
So this is there's one though I'm trying to think of. It's like it's really close to the one that you hosted for King of the Hill, but it was Capture the Flag, where like this here, like this would be like super high in the
Oh yeah.
sky, but without lava, and you'd have to time all these grinds and jumps to get to the flag, and then you'd have to come back with it. You know what I'm talking about? I know Crad knows. I know Crad would know, but I can't think of what they're called. But there's a couple of them, or maybe even Crad made them. But they were just these tiny little ledges. Like you could skate like this much around them, and then you'd have to ollie perfect to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then you get to the other
Oh,
side. But if you mess up at all, you fall into lava or water or whatever
yeah.
the theme is.
Let me
So
see if I have something like that.
yeah, how many creative parks do you have, anyways? Do you have just multiple memory cards full, or
I have 2 memory cards, 75 each. So
75 each? Damn, so you got 150 all on this game.
yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Um, let's try it. I think this one more of what you were talking about, and probably not exactly what it was, but
King, oh, so,
yeah,
I don't know. This might be close.
guess
Sounds.
the idea
Okay,
you
no,
have to
it's
have
not.
precision always.
Let's see. So, yeah, this is still like these were literally, you know
These were all
how
people played back then, like for creative parks.
right, but
Like
like the ones I'm talking of was like it's literally like picture this island that we're on, like this right here. Okay, this right here.
yeah,
It would be this, but it would be like the size of maybe an inch around my guy around here. So it's like one thing that you would raise.
oh,
It
I
was
get you, I get you.
super small, just like the one that you hosted the other day.
And you have to go like up and down progressively, or is it
It
like
would just be across the map. So like they would just like they would put one there, let's say one here, and then you'd have to like just do perfect ollies across the entire level. And if you
I
didn't
get you,
time each
yeah,
one, yeah, then you would go into the water. But I think some of them they did. They raised and lowered platforms and stuff, kind of like this here. But they would
yeah.
just make them so small. I'm pretty sure it's Crad. Sometimes if I ever get him on here, I'll pickle his brain on that.
Crad has a famed park that's kind of like what you're talking about called La La Land, and
Yeah, yeah.
he's been
Do you have it?
he's been no, I don't, unfortunately. I don't
Son
think
of a
anybody has
bitch.
it.
Okay. Well, this is good.
So
This is kind of. What do you
this
have to?
one you gotta just hop your way out of the hole.
Oh, this is cool. Yeah, I like this. I like this. I gotta attempt this. Now they have these crazy ones. I know we were talking about this on other podcasts. Like the levels that have like you're trying to get to the next part, and the amount of craziness that you have to do on the Thug Pro ones is just it's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, have you seen those
It's
freaking obstacle levels? That there's a guy named Nameless Warning who puts out these crazy obstacle levels.
yeah, I think that's like they're insane, aren't they? They're like really difficult to do. Oh, hey, you made it. Oh, yeah, this is kind of cool. What is this all about? So you can get to the other side of this somehow?
So you gotta hop across the concrete walls
Oh,
perfectly.
nice. Right, because now you're screwed because you can't. Right. Okay. Can you quick turn into it? That'd be pretty cool. No, that ain't happening. Oh, wow. This is a tough one. I like this. But yeah, the challenge ones on Thug Pro, whoever made those and can actually do those, I mean, that's like next level. That's like beyond me. Count me out. Um, Jesus. I don't even know if I'm gonna mess with this. This is ridiculous. I can't even get on the first one.
You probably need special.
Yeah. Huh. But yeah, what else about CTF? I mean, it's kind of like intertwined. It seemed maybe with the King of the Hill community, or were they just specific to CTF? Like, were they just?
No, there's absolutely an overlap between
Oh,
King of the Hill players. Pretty much played Capture the Flag as like a secondary mode.
got it. Okay, so it wasn't its own
Uh,
thing.
But what makes Tony Hawk 4 so competitive for capture the flag is, obviously it's not timed, and the speed that it takes to retrieve a flag, especially when you're holding a flag,
Yes.
makes a lot of those games come down to the wire. And my personal opinion, San Fran is probably the best capture the flag level, red versus blue.
Yeah, definitely. I remember playing a lot of San Fran back in the day, for sure. Yeah, this sucks. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. This is sketchy shit here. You gotta hold down on the next one. Jesus. I'm about to say, fuck this, let's go to another park. Or I'll just do the set cuss glitch. I'll do it that way. Oh, you know what? Can you just grind this in DD to the right? That'd probably work too, wouldn't it? I found the cheat. I'm doing the cheat.
Yeah, Skate Ace is correct.
Team strategy.
You got to know your partner. When you're playing capture the flag, you almost have to have a sense for where they are in the level, because you can almost feel when it's time to head to your base to get that capture, because you just know that your partner is about to retrieve it. If you know what I'm saying.
You're right. Yes.
Just having that synchronicity with your team really made a difference in this game.
I'm trying to traverse this mountain here. So who made this?
I couldn't tell you. There's
Oh, no, don't change it, son of a... Oh, man. You know how much work I put into that? Yeah, this is one we were playing yesterday, right? Yeah, this is the one that you can play King of the Hill on.
so
We're not doing King of the Hill. Just don't do it.
It might not look like much compared to Thug Pro standards, but the amount of steps that one would have to take to float these objects is pretty insane.
Dude, it would be crazy how much. Because to float an object, don't you have to reload the park?
Oh yeah, you have to keep going in and out of
preview. Even just the reload times of doing every object, plus the fact that everything, nah, man, there's no way I would ever do this.
If you mess up one step, you have to go 2 steps back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, at least 2 steps back. Yeah, now people are spoiled. They can just merge and float like it's no big deal. And now with KSK's thing coming out, it's going to be even crazier.
Oh yeah, KSK has. Which one are you talking about?
The Thug. What is it? Thug Plus, I guess they call it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a game changer for creative parks. I'm sitting here trying to get off my board. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be really cool. It would be really cool for people that made these parks to go and play this Thug Plus that gets released. I think they would have a hell of a time with it. They would love it. Yeah, but I don't know if these people are still playing or not, or if they even know about the little community that's left. Anything else about Capture the Flag before we kind of move on? There's only a couple more things, I guess. It's already been about 2 hours.
No, I mean, just wanted it to be known that before time to Capture the Flag became a big thing on Thug 1, the Capture the Flag that took place on 4 was super competitive, and the King of the Hill community was right there playing it. If you knew somebody that played King of the Hill all the time, they probably played Capture the Flag all the time.
Yeah, there's a good chance. Yeah, I was definitely involved in both. I wasn't that great at either one, but it was a really good time. It was still intense, even as someone that wasn't crazy into it. But yeah, you guys that were crazy into it, it was just like you can't stand a chance. It's like trying to 1v1 on Quake 3. It's like you don't stand a chance if you don't play the hell out of it and know all the ins and outs. So cool. So we wanted to talk about websites some, I guess. I don't know how this works, so I'm gonna say it now. Probably sound like a complete dumbass, but like, so THPS 3 online became THPS 4 online, and these are .coms, right? And then that became THPS X online. Is that how that
Yeah,
works?
so I don't want to get my facts wrong and make Dode mad potentially, but TXO crew had started back on Tony Hawk 3 with, under the moniker of THPS 3 Online,
Mm-hmm.
T3O. And then when Tony Hawk 4 came out, they evolved into Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 Online T4O for a short time before switching over to just THPS X Online TXO. And
Got it.
when the Thug games came out, that naturally shifted to Thug X Online.
So did those domains transfer over? So if back in the day you typed in thps3online.com, would it just automatically go to whatever the newest one was? Do you remember if they did like host rerouting?
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure that the admin of TXO Benson probably forwarded those domains to the new site.
Right. Okay.
Um, but yeah, going back to Thug X Online, just a broad history lesson. That was the hub of the community back in those days. At least, talking about pre-Thug Live, and TLT splits off. Thug Live becomes a thing, and starts hosting their own like the Get There challenges. The takes over as the hub of the community. And, towards the end of Thug Live, you have other things in existence like OnlineSkaters.net, which is the home site for the Sin Clan. Obviously, there was a ton of clan sites back in the day, like AskClan.com, FateClan.com, HighOnThug.com for the Hot Clan. Uh, but I think a lot of people gravitated towards Thug Live and OnlineSkaters.net, at least from what I remember. And,
OnlineSkaters.net was super popular.
and around, what was it, around '05 when THPSOnline.net became big, the THO website. Um, that, that was probably a big community hub for quite a while going into '06, '07 era before Thug Live was relaunched as TonyHawkLive.net, THLive.net.
Yeah, and then it was mainly TH Live and whatever the THO website was, wasn't it? Like those were the two biggest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Um,
THO website was crazy. Nacho did a really good job with that. The
yeah,
amount
and
of features it had.
they had their own kind of Get There challenge called, I think it was called Try To.
Yeah, try to. Right.
And but TH Live ruled the community for
Yeah,
quite a few years.
it did, unquestionably.
And as far as I can tell, after that, I think a lot of people moved to Fun Online for the Fun Clan,
Yep.
and now the community mostly lives on Discord these days. Forums aren't really a thing anymore,
Yeah, don't
except
you
for
miss
like,
that? I miss being able to post on a forum. I don't know.
like now you can just post something and get a reply instantly. You don't gotta wait for people to reply to your forum post.
Right. Yeah.
But
Pros and cons. I mean, I thought it was really cool to have that. I don't know. It's probably just a
yeah,
vibe thing at this point. It's probably not even pro. Obviously, it's substantially better to just immediately reach out to people and have an immediate response. And there's no refreshing of screen or anything. We're spoiled by that. It's crazy.
yeah. I mean, Discord has really been great for the community.
Yeah, unquestionably. Yeah. But it seems like it almost renders even websites pointless at this point. As long as you have a place to upload content to, like YouTube, you don't even really need a website at this point.
Yeah.
Because everything can be archived right in Discord. It's crazy. Yeah.
So, it's, I can tell you about, the launch of my site with Crad.
Yeah,
you like?
THPSX. Yeah, let's get into that. And then there's just a couple other little things, and then we should probably close her up.
Yeah.
But yes,
right.
we got to talk about, because that's like 2012-ish that it actually
Yeah.
released, but you were working on it for a while, right?
So, the end, or 2011, actually, I think it was, what was it, like July, when Activision released that teaser video for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD, where it's just like Tony Hawk skating around in the warehouse or something like that. And so just December 2011, they actually announced THPS HD at that. I think it was the Video Game Awards.
Okay.
So me and Crad decided to throw together this community website. We really didn't know what we wanted it to be at the time. Like in my head, I was just thinking it could be like a spiritual successor to KXTH in the way that it's a home for everybody that we used to play Tony Hawk with, like a continuation, so to speak. But
did you have hopes that THPS HD would have an actual community?
Yeah, that's what the idea was.
Right.
We wanted to be like a community hub for the new THPS HD game, but we really didn't know what to expect with the game, so we kind of taking a gamble, going all in on THPS HD. So we to get off the ground, we jumped on buying this domain called thpshd.com, and for whatever reason, Activision didn't buy it.
Oh, nice. Would you sell it to him for like 10 grand?
No, we like put up like cryptic images from the Tony Hawk games, and like threw in some background music from like classic games,
Nice.
and like just put like a countdown timer on there, counting down to the 1st of January 2012, and
And they never said anything?
people now. I mean, we never heard anything from Activision, but like people were like on forums and gaming news sites talking about, Activision launches THPS HD countdown website. And
Wow. Okay.
I'll drop one of the links in the chat. But so all these people were buzzing, talking about, what's this countdown? Why does it got this song playing? So 1st of the year rolls around, and we just launched our site. It's pretty all it was at the time was just a forum, and not much else. We just kind of explaining what we wanted, what our intention was to be, was like a community website for HD and whatever games that are released afterwards. And like there was quite a bit of a little buzz that we generated from that countdown thing, because I think in our first like 24 to 48 hours we had like 125 forum signups, and this was like pre-Discord and all that.
Yeah.
So that was a nice little launch, but it was still at that time a 6-month wait for the game to launch, so we really didn't go anywhere with it at the time, except to kind of bring together old faces that may have been lapsed from the community in the past. Like, hey, come check out this new community site. And so HD comes out, and it was critically panned, but it is what it is. We had to switch gears, and just focus on being a community site in general, not just for any one game.
So did anyone, while you had this site launched,
Yeah.
did anyone that was old school come back in conjunction with this the THPSX website?
Well, I can't put a date on it, but
Yeah.
Skate Ace came into the fold, and I really don't know when he came into the fold, but I have to tell you that these past, see where we're at, 3.5 years, Skate Ace and Dode have really been huge driving factors into making what THPSX is today, as far as community vaults, the web design, every nuance of the site is a baby of Skate Ace and Dode in some part. So I have to give it to them. Aside from all that, Ace and Crad are pretty much the head moderators of OpenSpy, at least for the Tony Hawk side of things. So I have to hand it to my team of Ace, Crad, Dode, even all of our great moderators, Tyler, Satin.
So
Let my nuts go.
you own the domain and the hosting, though.
Yeah, that's correct.
Got it. So out of your own pocket, you pay for all that stuff. Just every year, you just renew it. You're like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like $100. You're like, cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And it's really become quite more than what I could have ever envisioned. In conjunction with Thug Pro, because Thug Pro wasn't a thing when we launched. So
is it popular right now? Like, is it? I'm not gonna lie to you. I have never go there. I think I've been there a couple times just because I heard of it and I checked it out. Oh, that's pretty cool. But I never really joined. I don't think.
Yeah.
Do you know how many members are there? Like on a daily, are there members there? And do you have numbers of how many members are there that are active and all that stuff? Or
on the Discord.
Well, the Discord is freaking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Discord. What is it? Almost at 1,000, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like, I don't know, 2,000 right now, or getting close at least.
Oh wow. Does it not show people that are offline? Yeah, because when I go there, I look at this Discord and I can't see people that are offline. It only shows me people that are online. And right now there's 600 something people online. Yeah.
I don't want to give any misinformation, but and I know it's at least like 1,500 members.
Right.
But if you haven't checked out the site, at least if nothing else, check out the online vaults where all the custom content is stored, because there's tons of great content creators that pour their time into Thug Pro, and they just upload it to the site, and all they ask is for constructive criticism or positive feedback.
Right.
3K unique views on the site per month.
Okay. Well, it's not terrible. I mean, for how small the community is, that's not bad at all.
But
yeah. Anything else about websites and THPSX? Who's Let My Nuts Go? Who the fuck is that? What kind of name is that?
He's one of our great moderators, and he's done a lot for as far as creating content for the game, rigging characters, creating custom levels. Same thing with our other moderators on the team, like Tyler and Satin. They put out a number of levels over the years, all for the community. Custom content for the community.
Right.
We truly, we don't really get too personal into each other's lives, but when we're all there chatting. There's a lot of camaraderie that goes on.
Well, yeah, for sure. It's a very tight community.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Cool. So we got that. Got first custom service. I'm just making sure that. Oh, yeah. Do you want to give some sort of shout out to Impulp for starting KXTH, or there is Impulse, right?
Yeah, sure. I'll.
I mean, and like he was really good too. He's a really good player. I know some people didn't like him.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. I think he was really short. Like when he typed. So I remember playing with him a couple times, and even I was like, man, this guy he doesn't like swing the shit or anything. He's just like really short. He just doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's hard too because he's typing, right? It's not like I ever talked to the guy in person, but like when he would type, it'd just be like really short and to the point. You know, it wasn't like holding conversation. Is that
like a book? That's his Impulse's favorite taunt or catchphrase, because he always used to say that whenever he hits you out of nowhere in King of the Hill, because he read you like a book, basically.
Correct. Yeah.
And, no, I mean, I never really had any hostile interactions with him. You know, like you said, he's a man of few words when he's talking to people that he doesn't really know. But you know, what can I say? He's pretty much fell off the map in 2007. Nobody has spoken to him or seen him since then. But for some reason, he keeps renewing the KXTH domain.
Now that website doesn't get as many hits as THPSX, does it? Or you would have no idea because you don't have the domain rights and you can't see statistics.
I really don't. I don't think it's got much of anything. I mean, it's just an all outdated PHP BB forum.
Right.
Nobody can really register there, so the forums are kind of broken. So basically, it's just stuck in time. But if you had an account there, which I think you do, you can still log in and post. You just can't create new accounts.
Weird. Okay, so they kept that up. That's weird. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, you know, like why. Maybe it's just on auto renewed and he just doesn't even know, you know, like some credit card account that's like 10 years old that's just defaulting or something by this point, and he just has no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to underscore the huge impact Impulse had on the community just for creating KXTH alone, because I think if KXTH didn't exist, then the King of the Hill community might have dissipated a lot faster.
Right. What else we got? Do we have anything else? I mean, that's covered everything on my list. Unless I forgot something that I didn't add to my list. Like, what else is there? What else do you want to say? FreddY. FreddY. Where the hell did you get the name FreddY? That's not your real name.
No, I'll tell you a funny story. Remember I said that I started playing in summer of 03?
Yes.
Well, guess what else came out in the summer of 03?
Jason versus FreddY. Are you serious?
Yes.
Is that what came out? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so my first cast when I started playing was, you know, this game has the Freddy Krueger sweater for some reason.
I did not realize that.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I pretty much cosplayed as Freddy when I first started playing the game, and the game just kind of stuck.
Yeah, it's hilarious. That's okay. Go ahead. We gotta change a map. Let's go to. Oh, you said you have a couple parks to buy, but I'm trying to think. I played the one. What other parks do you have in mind? I played the Death or Glory style of park. You said you have the one from THOTV?
Yeah, I have the cap that you created for the intro of THOTV 4.
Yeah. Did you have any other ones? I didn't have that many.
That's the only two that I had.
Yeah.
The first one.
MF cap.
The cool thing about this cap, I don't know how you came up with it, but is the wall ride boost off of the dumpster.
Yeah, you know what it was is I was trying to find. You're talking about the bounce, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to find something that hadn't really been done, and I hadn't seen the wall ride bounce off the dumpster in like in a transfer. So yeah, I wonder if I can even hit this. Do you have to boost plan into it? I
Possibly.
can't even remember now.
You got to hit the far dumpster, right?
Yeah, you gotta hit the
Or
far one. How the hell did I do it? It
maybe
must be.
3x.
Yeah, it probably is, and I won't be able to do it for the life of me. Yeah, there's no way I'm hitting this. Just forget it. Holy shit! How did I do this? I can't even
I don't know.
2x.
You made it look easy.
Yeah, right? Nah, that ain't happened. Oh, there we go.
You got it?
Oh, balls. Yeah, but
Damn.
I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know. It must have been. I don't know. You know, once
think you can
upon
do
a
it with
time, I was good at this game, so that's probably how.
You can hit it with a 2x. You just got to. There, I just did it.
Oh, no, I want to do it. I'm supposed to do it first. Alright, well. Oh, there we go. Can I actually hit it? Nope, I went too far. Okay.
And then
Ah, shit.
the bounce off of the trash can that's on the wall there.
Yeah, so you hold it and then you go back, right? I think
Yeah.
that was the idea of it. And then yeah, you go through that little fire thing there. And then it's like a glitchy oh yeah, you bonk off this little thing. Yeah, dude. There ain't no oh, hey cool. There ain't no way I'm doing that again. As a line. I wouldn't think. Yeah. Well, if anybody wants to see that, it is already recorded and I will not be doing it again. I can do this part. That's hilarious.
Trippy.
Yeah. What else? What else we gotta talk about here?
Let's see. What do we talk about? See, well, just a quick overview. You know, started the game in 03.
Viewers are dying down. We can tell we've been on here too long.
I was only probably truly active until the very end of 07. Then started working. Graduating school took over, so 08, 09, 10 it wasn't really active online.
Right.
I know Crad was holding it down on Thug with his Capture the Flag clan called TCK. What was it? The Capture the Flag crew? Or the Capture crew?
Yeah. Who was it? Who was doing that?
Crad.
It was Crad, yeah. Yeah, Crad's like always breathing that life into the game. Two-tone. What the hell is this?
It's another noob glitch park. These are the kind of parks that like people would just be randomly hosting online back in the day.
Oh my goodness. What the hell is this? Wow. I don't know if anybody in the chat has a question to ask him. I mean, the guy's only been playing for how long though? How long you been playing for? Be like 17, 18 years?
17 out of
17?
17 out of a total of 30 years.
Yes. Farmville Speedrunner sent me a question. You know, and I didn't write it down, so if you could ask it again, that'd be pretty cool. Usually I don't even look at the chats, but now I am. So if you want to put it here, we'll answer it. Because I apparently didn't write it down. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I have a question for you though.
Ooh, you have a question for me. This isn't about me though.
It's kind of irrelevant, but I was always curious.
Mm-hmm.
What month did you join TLT, and what did KOTH have to say about it?
Okay. So I think by the time I joined TLT, THO wasn't even like a thing.
Really?
So, or it was on the way out. Yeah, it was pretty damn late into the shelf life of Tony Hawk 4 in general. I mean, Tony Hawk 4 was basically non-existent, which is the only reason I got into TLT was because I was like the only person playing this game, and I was pretty decent at it. So everybody else was playing Thug and Thug 2 and whatever else was out by then, pretty much everything. And then so yeah, I think. I don't remember, but if KOTH was still talking to me, he probably would have been like, "Hey, that's cool." Actually, I think I did leave before like THOTV5. I think I was done by THOTV5. I think that was it because I wasn't in that one. So obviously I left by then. But yeah, I think he was cool with it. I think he understands. I mean, that was the clan to shoot for, and I should have kept playing, but I didn't. So, but yeah, this guy has got something. Can you read the chat? Do you have I usually don't have chat pulled up, but he's got something there. It's a pretty long question. Do you want me to read it?
No, I see it.
Okay. Good. Because I don't want to read it. It's long. It's long. On my screen, it looks like it's like a whole page long. He really wants to know something.
The King of the Hill metagame, starting like from what I know of 3, was very primitive. Like I really can't say that a lot of people played King of the Hill on 3. Maybe after the other games came out, but when 3 was the only thing to play, I'm really not sure how big the King of the Hill community was at the time, or what was being introduced as far as the meta. But Tony Hawk 4 came out, and people really had a couple of years to sink into it and master the game. Like I said, all these nuances that people put into it, like quick turn Wally is really basic, but Ace brought up the seam Wallies, just things like sportsmanship. Always saying good game, even if you just got your ass handed to you. The meta really started with 4, is what I would say, because there were so many things, like Ace brings up, is the drop downs. In this game, you can drop down into the quarter pipes not only with R2 but with L2 as well. And L2 introduces a lot of quirky drop down physics that you don't always get with R2. And,
there's certain rails you can't even drop down with RT. You need to do them L2. So yeah, it changes a lot.
And then moving forward to Thug and Thug 2, yeah, walking was absolutely a huge thing, not only for Prov or like the scoring type games, but it was a huge thing for King of the Hill, because now you could, for instance, hit all these crazy wire grabs. Wall plant was just as huge. I mean, think of all the crazy pole wall plants that you've seen in transfer videos and people actually doing those in King of the Hill games. I mean, the Thug, a lot of people say, is the peak of the game as far as gameplay standpoint, which is probably true in my estimation. But from a King of the Hill standpoint, the big thing about Thug is just that netcode really brought it down. Certainly people played around it, but as far as the new gameplay mechanics introduced, let's see, I'm trying to think about what was interesting, what was different about Thug 2 from Thug. Like I know Thaw, you have things like Burt slides and all these other weird gameplay changes, but it didn't. I don't think it changed the game that much as far as if you were a good King of the Hiller, you were gonna be that much good no matter what. Like say if put Devolution in a room full of people playing where they can get off their skateboard and Devolution can't get off his skateboard, he's still gonna be just as fast. And the meta kind of goes hand in hand and transfers from game to game. If you can understand what I'm getting at, if you're good at one game, you can be competent at another game. I mean, Skate Ace is on the nose with that one. A lot of people don't know about a player named Iller Agony who was like, you think about how good Dev was on Tony Hawk 4. Iller was probably just as good on Thug, and Iller was one of the few players, and I've said this before, that truly was good at King of the Hill on both games. And I would like to point out that he was a member of SN, even though he doesn't wear the tag.
Go to college real quick. Show Farmville some of the, well, just one really, I think, good example of the difference between L2 and R2 on this game, on this engine. Bring it to like this rail. I mean, it's actually, it's a lot of rails, but this one's like gonna be the most, well, a very obvious one. So like if you're gonna R2, you're just gonna go through this rail basically, or you're gonna float depending on how slow you go. But if you L2, you're gonna actually be on it and you can DD off of it. So yeah, just little things like that. Certain ones that you can actually like revert out of, like this here. I think if you spin, you just float. Well, maybe that's on Thug Pro. I think you're just gonna float. But yeah, if you do this, you can just do that. Kind of cool. Same with like if you want to turn on pro objects, there's this obvious one up here. So R2, you would actually revert this straight out. But if you L2, you're just gonna pop up. It's kind of, just a little quirky stuff like this. But when you start having
all over the game.
Yeah, you start having two different options. It does change a lot. Like just right off this one thing, you can do like a spine transfer, acid out, revert, etc., etc., etc. Just yeah, little things like that make this game fluid while having options that you really, unless you mod Thug Pro or something, or the PC version. I don't even know, does PC version have two different drop downs? I don't even know. I'd assume it would, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of my transfers from not only King of the Hill, but like from the Tony Hawk 4 EVA videos were based off of those L2 drop downs.
PC had no drop downs at all. Wow. Yeah, based on L2 drop down versus R2. Yeah, for sure. All right. I mean, I got nothing else unless you wanna sell me back my computer case sometime. I think you still have that, right?
Yeah, I'm probably not even 5 feet away from it right now.
Yeah, not even 5 feet away. I mean, I'm like 2,000 miles away from it, and I miss it. I think you should give it back to me.
I'll mail it back when we start filming Tony Hawk 4 EVA HD.
Well, we can. We're gonna get on it. I thought that's something we're gonna do, but I'm waiting on you. I can't take someone serious if they don't start something. Yeah, THPS.
Oh yeah, you can even have the blue neons back.
They still work?
No, they're like
purple now.
Dark purple now.
Dark purple. Well, hey, dark purple red case is badass. So, yeah, you got to give me that back. I miss it. I miss it.
Well, man, it was a great time talking to you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for doing it. I think a lot of people will take something away from, it was never a huge community, the King of the Hill scene. It wasn't like as big as improv, but I'll tell you what, in terms of the skill it takes to do all this stuff, I mean, it's different. And it should be known that there's a lot of really great players that aren't around, that aren't playing anymore, that, like, if they came back, let's say a King of the Hill scene started right now on this game, and these people came back, I think they would just school people within like a week. I mean, it's like some of them were just that good.
even if they just hopped on Thug Pro,
If Thug Pro no walk that shit, put this level on, yeah, they're still gonna do stuff that just blows your mind, just out of nowhere too. So, but well, sweet, yeah, we'll call her good there, and maybe if we think of more stuff, we'll of course get you back on.
Sounds like a good time. Always willing to come on the show, and thanks for having me. And if I grew your audience just a little bit, I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, or if it's whatever, it's kind of a niche thing, so I understand if it's not as popular. Like TH4 is such a niche thing, but we're never gonna forget it. So, all right, well, cool. We'll end it at that, and thanks for the people that stuck around long enough to listen to the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Cool. Take care.